Welcome back to part 3 of stock pot number 6 refining series of videos. What we're going to do is, this is the solids that we have that I can't determine if there's any precious metals in here. So I'm going to start out with this. Back here is our precipitate that we collected in parts 1 and 2 in that beaker. We're going to try to work with this. And then also I've got some other material here that I've been kind of hanging on to. This is from the anode filters series of videos. It's a little bit of platinum group metals, fine black powder, mixed PGMs. We're going to include this in this refining. I've also got a little button here of platinum group metals from a previous stock pot refining. We're going to include this into this series. Back here is some other metals that were in solution. We're going to take a look at what we've got in there. I think there's some palladium, and then there's some rose-colored material down on the bottom of this beaker. Not quite sure what that is. We're going to take a look at that. I've got some other platinum group metals that have been recovered from some solutions. And we're going to incorporate this. And also, last but not least, several years ago, someone sent me some material. I can't remember who it was. I'd like to thank that person for sending me this stuff. There's a little bit of palladium powder in here that they recovered. A solution that they had recovered from their stock pot, I believe it was from. And then there's a filter that's got some platinum metals in it. And we're going to take a look and see what all this stuff is. And I'd like to thank that individual for sending that stuff to me. I can't remember who it was. It's been years now since they did that. So we're going to continue and incorporate all these things into this refining series, because we've got to have concentrated solutions when working with platinum group metals. They do not precipitate well out of dilute solutions. So we're going to combine all this, see if we can get enough material to work with. All right, first thing we're going to do is separate the solids from the liquid that's in this beaker. I've got a specially prepared filter here. And we're just going to go ahead and pour this liquid now into this funnel with a filter in it and separate the solids from the liquid. I'm going to get a status test on this one more time. See what we've got in solution here. I don't think there's anything in here. Let's see what we got going on in here. As you can see, there's no precious metals in this solution. Boy. Not sure what's in here. It doesn't appear to be anything of value. But we're just going to get it out of this beaker and figure out what we're going to do with it next. I've got everything collected in this filter, and I think what we're going to do here, this may have some precious metals encapsulated in that blue stuff in there, protecting it from the acids. And so the best thing to do here is probably try to incinerate this and then do an extraction. But I'm not going to do this for this video. There's so little there, there's no point in trying to go after that little bit. I'll just put this in my paper storage, and we'll do that when we do the filter paper recovery series of videos. This liquid here has got nothing in it, and I'll add this probably right straight into the waste treatment bucket. Let's go ahead and get this stuff concentrated into containers here. These are my filters that I've extracted DMG precipitate from silver cell slimes and so forth. I'm just going to put all this filter material right in here with our other filters. This is the filter that the fella sent me from his stock pot. It's probably got some precious metals in it, so we'll just try to get it in here with these other filters. And notice I'm doing this in a fume hood. This stuff can become airborne, and these platinum group metals are very nasty to get in your lungs and breathe. So I'm doing this in a fume hood to draw these any particulate that comes out of there away from me. Okay, let's take a look at what we've got in this container. This is the liquid from a stock pot from someone who sent this to me. I'm just going to get in here and get a status test. Doesn't look like there's much in there. I'm going to test it with some stannous chloride. See what we got. There's almost nothing in that solution. So what I'll do is I'll end up just adding this directly into my stock. It's got a little bit of yellow color, so there might be a little bit of precious metals in there. And now what we'll do is pull up our mixed PGM black powders from, I think it was from the silver cell videos. Silver cell anode filters recovery. There's about 2 grams of mixed black PGMs in here. Not enough to try to do a full recovery on it. And this is from the same guy that sent me the filter and that yellow solution. So we're going to add this right in now to our mixed black PGM powders. Get all this stuff concentrated the best we can. Let's see if we can get this black stuff out of here onto a filter paper. Try to include that. Right in with our filters. I've got everything consolidated now. I'm going to move this out of the way. This is our little button of PGMs from our previous stock pot refining. I'm going to process that. I got the mixed black PGMs. We'll process this. Get this out of the way right now. We're going to pull this and see exactly what we've got going on in this beaker. This is the beaker that has some solids in it, and I believe this was from the anode filters refining series as well. I'm not sure what that is down in there. It's got a rose color to it. Might be platinum, might be palladium, not sure. I'm gonna get down in here with a piece of filter paper, get some of it on the filter paper. Let's test it and see what we got going on. As you can see, I can see green forming, and it's got a rose color to it, which is not quite sure what that is. Looks like it's mostly palladium. See how it's turning green? Let's go ahead and filter off this solution from these solids in here. That's what it looks like. Actually, it looks like palladium salt, a brick red, ammonia soluble palladium salt, but I could be wrong. What we're doing now is just go ahead and filter these solids away from that solution that contains palladium. Let's get the camera angle right here. about that. I get my beaker back. Beaker's been held hostage for about 6-8 months. Well, let's try and experiment with some of this stuff in this funnel. Not sure what that stuff is. Get a little bit of it. Put it in this beaker. Now what we'll do is add some aqua regia to it. A little bit of hydrochloric acid. And now a little bit of nitric acid. Let's see what this does. This up on the heat, give it a little gentle heat and see what happens. While I'm waiting for the solution up there or the solids up there to see if we can dissolve them, let's do this. I'm going to get this funnel out of the way. I'm going to transfer this palladium solution into this beaker. Let's see. This is the solution we just filtered off from those red solids from the anode filters. And it's got palladium in it because we did a test. So I'm gonna add some DMG to this. This should produce a pretty decent reaction in here with some DMG. Let's see what happens. That was a time lapse of the palladium precipitating out with DMG. I don't have a whole lot of stuff left in there, as you can see, maybe just a little bit of platinum. So what we'll do is we'll filter that precipitate out of there and then just add the solution to my stockpile. Here's our experiment with that red material. And I'm not quite sure what this is going to be. Let's test some of this with some stannous and see what we got. This is aqua regia on those red solids out of that filter. Orange or platinum. It could possibly be a red color, a rose color to indicate rhodium, even though rhodium does not dissolve well in aqua regia. I do see a little bit of a red tint to it. Here's those 3 tests. This was the first test that we did of the solution before we added DMG. I see a little bit of a pink coloration going on with that, which indicates there might be some rhodium in there. And I have this second test, which is from the solution over here after we added the DMG. And as you can see, it's got some green going on, so that's telling me there's just a little bit of palladium left in this solution, but not much. And then the final test that we just did, on our experiment here is a orange color with a little bit of green in it. So it might be a little bit of platinum and palladium in this solution as well. Based on these tests, this experiment did not dissolve the red stuff completely, and rhodium does not dissolve well in aqua regia. And I definitely see a pink color on this test. This looks like platinum and this looks like palladium. So I'm thinking maybe this material in here might be some rhodium. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this off to the side. I don't know what to do with it yet. I'm going to have to figure out how to process this separately. We're going to set this off to the side and then proceed with the rest of the refining. Okay, we're going to filter the precipitate that we just got from this solution. Just going to pour it through a filter and collect it in this filter paper. This solution that I'm filtering out of here, just it's not enough there to try to recover any metals from that, so we'll just add that into our stock pot. Our palladium salt that we filtered out of here. This goes in the stock pot. So we're going to add this filter now to the other filters that we have in this reaction beaker. This does have some precious metals in it, but only just a small amount. And unlike gold and silver, add more precipitant and get 100% of the metals out of solution. Platinum group metals are not like that. So going after this little bit of metal in here would be an exercise in futility. It's best just to go ahead and put it in one of the new stock pots. Let it cement out on the copper in there and accumulate. And we'll get this next time. Now what we'll do is add some hydrochloric acid to our beaker here with our filters in it. That's about filled it up to about the 300 milliliter level. What we'll do is we'll set this up here on the heat and start adding a little bit of heat. What we're going to do is dissolve all of this, well, all that we can, in aqua regia. Now what we'll do, add a little bit of nitric acid. We're going to try to put all this precipitate in solution with some aqua regia. Alright, that was about 9 milliliters of nitric acid. Got everything to go in solution now. I'm going to pull this down off of the heat and let it cool down. This is still kind of hot. Let's see if we can get a stannous test. A little bit of it on a filter paper. See how orange, dark orange that turned? That means we've got platinum group metals in solution, fairly concentrated. Now I'm going to try to dissolve this platinum button from a previous stock pot refining. I need to flatten it out, so we're going to try to heat it up and beat it flat and then run it through the rollers. Here we go. This is our platinum button from a previous refining. I've tried heating it, I tried beating it, I tried rolling it, and it's just fracturing and falling to pieces. And this was just like this before I melted it. And I made the mistake of melting this into a button, and it would take days with boiling hot aqua regia to get this metal to go into solution. So unfortunately, what we're going to do then is just go ahead and exclude this from this experiment. So now we'll turn our attention back to this metal here in this beaker. I'm going to filter the solids out of here. Solution down here that's going to have some platinum group metals. Now we're going to take this filter. It's got some black stuff in it. I don't know what that is. I don't know if it's metal. The filters are going to be in there. I don't know what it is. I'm going to put it back in this beaker. I'm adding some hydrochloric acid to this. Adding some nitric acid. I'm going to try to do another extraction on these solids. I don't know what's in here. And we're just going to put it up on the heat and let it heat up a little while and react. Chose to filter this one more time before we proceed any further with it. I want to test to see if we've got any gold in this solution here. So what I've got is some ferrous sulfate. I'm going to get a little bit of that and put it in one of these spot plate cavities. And to pull this down off the heat, start bubbling up on me. I'm squirting it with hydrochloric acid, not water. We're just going to put this back up on the heat. I'm going to turn the heat down a little bit on this. And what we'll do is proceed with our ferrous sulfate test down here. I want to get a little bit of the solution out of my funnel up here. I'm going to put it right down here on this ferrous sulfate. there's gold in here, we should see a cloud of brown forming around the ferrous sulfate. Let's see what happens here. Alright, this thing is inconclusive. Can't really tell if there's any gold in that solution or not. Look up here. It's bubbling over again, so I'm going to have to take it off the heat. Here it comes. It's bubbling over on me. Just perfect. Oh, I love working with platinum group metals. I just love it. Look at this solution back here. It's not very concentrated if there's anything in it. So I'm not going to go any further with that. What we'll do is just add that into the stock pot, and any traces that are in there will go into the next refining. So what we're going to do now is just turn our attention to this solution right here. Let's get this cleaned up a little bit back here. Like I said, this solution in here is going to go in the stock pot. This is what was in the filter, stuff that we just filtered. That filter will go in the stock pot as well. Now what we'll do is we'll look in here and see what we got going on in here. All right, what I'm going to do now is, I don't know if this is the correct procedure or not. Adding some DMG to this to try to get the palladium precipitated out of this solution. Here we go. This is DMG dissolved in a little hot water, which DMG does not dissolve well in water, but we should be able to get enough of it to go to get done what we need done here with this liquid. This is our DMG precipitate down here. Doesn't look too appetizing. Doesn't look good, I mean. Stick a paper down in this solution, see what we got left in this solution. It's kind of looking like platinum to me. Not much. It's just a trace. Probably platinum. Just about all of our metal is going to be down here in this precipitate. Alright, this is everything. That's all we're going to get. I'm going to rinse this off with some distilled water. It's our precipitate. It's got a few chunks of undissolved DMG. Not worried about that. That's okay. Put it in this beaker. Now what I'll do is add some hydrochloric acid to this. And we'll set this up on the heat and start dissolving this precipitate. going to add some nitric acid in there. This is a little bit of platinum and palladium in solution. Not enough to try to go after. The temptation here is add some more with gold. If you still got gold in solution, you just add some more SMB until all the gold drops out. That's not how platinum group metals work. They will not drop out well from a dilute solution. There's not enough in there to try to recover this, so we're just going to add this to the stock pot. So now let's go ahead and see if we can get some nitric acid in our beaker back here. And we're going to dissolve that precipitate. Fully dissolved now. I'm going to rinse down the insides of the beaker with some hydrochloric acid. I'm going to pull this down off the heat now and let this cool off. You can get a Stannis test on this solution. Fairly concentrated, so that's a good sign. At least we should be able to get some metal out of that solution. Here's another look at that test. You can see some green forming in there and some orange, which tells me we've got platinum and palladium in our solution. I'm going to have to refilter this. I didn't have the filter paper lined up with the holes in the bottom of this funnel, so I had to start all over here. Now I'm going to precipitate out the platinum group metals with pieces of zinc. Okay, I think we're going to call it here. This will conclude part 3 of the platinum group metals recovery and refining. And this should be mixed black PGMs in here. Not very much, but it will look like this when we get all of the liquid rinsed off of there. All right, I'm going to call it right here. This will conclude part 3 of Stock Pot 6 recovery and refining series of videos. Thank you for watching.